hotel, banks, and other leading businesses. Has extensive mastery of human resources and labor laws as professor of law in University of Santo Tomas, University of the East, Far Eastern University to name a few, and also a resource person. Am I still connected? Also a resource person and PMPP, UP Soler, Chambers of Commerce, and other professional and industry groups for over 30 years. He authors books on employee discipline, Philippine labor standards, Philippine labor relations, insightful and helpful to law students, professors, and members of the bar and bench. A much sought after resource person and inspirational speaker, ladies and gentlemen, Agulias Law School alumnus, our very own Yusek Josephus B. Jimenez. Good evening.
Good afternoon. Maayong hapon kanatong tanan. I'm very happy today because my former student, Alan Velasco, was elected. Although it is being debated if it is legal to hold a session outside of Congress. But my former dean, Dean Rufus Rodriguez, my friend and compare from the 2nd District of Cagayan de Oro City, gave a lengthy opinion that it was legal, it was valid, it has a precedent because last time when there was a volcanic eruption in Taal, the special session was held in Batangas. And so tomorrow there will be perhaps a confrontation because Speaker Cayetano says that he has the numbers, but 186 voted for J. Lord Aland, and there are only 299 members of Congress because the others died, no? So we have 299 and 186 voted for J. Lord Alan. So tomorrow, if there is a confrontation, because the president called for special session, so there will be really an official session tomorrow. And it just requires a motion to declare the chair vacant and then the voting by nominal voting. And I think that most of the congressmen from Cebu voted for Alan Velasco because they belong to the Visayan bloc. And so the Mindanao bloc plus the Visayan bloc plus the Northern Luzon bloc plus the forces of JMA in Central Luzon. So I don't think Cayetano will have enough number to counter that. So tomorrow in my column, my title is Cayetano is better and Velasco is Lord. And Peter betrayed the Lord 3 times, no? 3 times, no? So now the Lord is now in the house of Lords, no? So abangan ang sunod na kabanata. We have very good visitors now. We have Dr. Crispy Velasco and Miss Michelle Abella of the UV administration. And we have our lawyers. Thank you for giving honor to our bar review by attending Attorney Patrick Ompad, Attorney Amistad, Attorney Panilagaw, and Attorney Estorjo. Aside from our very reliable treaty deputy dean, no, Dean Wagas, no, who is tireless and hardworking, doing the work of reminding you and inviting you. I hope that you will learn tonight because our lesson tonight is very, very exciting. It's about insubordination. Do you know, Dr. Wagas, that the first sin of man was insubordination? If you read Genesis, the book of Genesis in the Old Testament, there was a lawful order given by a superior, and that is God. And that order was in relation to the work of Adam. It was legal. It was reasonable. And Adam willfully, with evident premeditation, willfully defied and disobeyed the order of the Lord. So the first sin of man was insubordination. And so Adam was ordered to explain. The Lord said, you are hereby ordered to explain within 24 hours why you should not be banished from paradise. And you know the explanation of Adam? He pointed at Eve. Ang sabi ni Adam, Lord, my life in paradise was very peaceful and harmonious until you give me a woman. The woman is the cause of my trouble. So there was sufficient provocation from the woman. So I committed sin. I disobeyed you, Lord, because of the woman. So can you imagine what kind of defense is that? No? That kind of defense is not acceptable. And so the woman, Eve, was also ordered to explain. And the explanation of Eve, alam mo ang explanation ni Eve? Tinuro din niya yung ahas. So yung finger pointing na yan, finger pointing, si Adan, pinifinger point niya si Eve. Si Eve naman, pinifinger point niya yung ahas. Mabuti na lang hindi pina-explain yung ahas. Baka kung sino naman ang ituro ng ahas, no? So yung turo-turuan na yan ay uso na yan nung araw. So after 24 hours, God made a decision. And God was the HR manager. He was also the president and COO. No? And the decision is this. Adam, you are guilty. But if you are more guilty with aggravating circumstances. That's why the penalty of Adam, maximum penalty, you are driven out of paradise with forfeiture of all retirement benefits and perpetual disqualification from holding office. And you, if you are also banished from paradise, and you have an additional penalty. Merong accessory penalty. Ano yon? Mahihirapan ka sa iyong pagpanganak. Kaya yung mga babae, pag nahirapan kay mga anak, yan ay accessory penalty. Kasi kayo ang dahilan na nagkasala ang lalaki. So, ang babae ngayon, binigyan ng accessory penalty na mahihirapan ka sa iyong panganak. At may pangatlo pang penalty. Ano yon? Ikaw at ang ahas ay magiging mortal na kalaban. Kakagatin ng ahas ang talampakan ng babae at ang ulo ng ahas ay tatapakan ng babae. Kaya si Mary, si Virgin Mary, ang symbol niya ay tinatapakan niya ang ahas because she was the only woman who never committed sin. And so all the women are given that penalty. Kaya kayo mga babae, huwag kayo magagalit sa akin. Sinasabi ko lang ang nasusulat sa banal na kasulatan. At yan ay aking introduction dito sa napakagandang topic natin, insubordination. Tamang-tama ito, Dr. Velasco, at lahat kayo na nagmamanage ng mga organization. Kasi in my experience, 12 years in San Miguel, 5 years in Pepsi Cola, 3 years in Petron, and many other company. You know, when an employee is new to the organization, he is very obedient, very subservient, humble, meek as a lamb. But, you know, as time passes by, especially when he becomes a member of a union or an officer, it seems that there is a transformation in his character, that he becomes disobedient, rebellious, recalcitrant, no? Refusing stubbornly to obey the order of his superiors. And so our topic today is, what is the prerogative of the company in the light of this behavior? The prerogative to discipline, no? Versus the security of tenure of an employee. So I always start my lecture in employee discipline using this framework that the employees are granted by the Constitution, not just by law, but by the Constitution, the right to security of tenure. And security of tenure is one of the most assaulted right among the rights of the employees, because, you know, especially in a time like pandemic, no, because of COVID, the employers now are finding it very difficult to maintain the salaries and wages of employees, especially those who are disobedient people, those who are grossly and habitually negligent, those who are committing serious misconduct, those who are committing fraud or acts that will cause loss of trust and confidence. So, can you imagine the challenge that is being faced by management today and also employees? So I made a formula. When you take the bar examination or you are making a decision as a manager, you use the formula, which is very simple, JBJ's formula. Legal dismissal is equals to proper cause plus due process. Because proper cause can be classified into three. Just cause, which is Article 297. It used to be 282. Authorized cause, which is now 298. It used to be 283. And then the cause that is agreed upon by the parties. It is not illegal for the parties to stipulate, provided that they were dealing with each other on unequal terms. There is no moral ascendancy, no undue influence, no gross misrepresentation or deceit, or no vitiated consent when an educated employee, for instance, agreed to be, if you are a faculty member of the Gulyas Law School and then you are appointed as a dean, and then after 3 years, the appointment by the Board of Trustees is not renewed. When you accept the appointment, the cost that is agreed upon is expiration of the 3 years. That is agreed upon by you. So when the term expires and you are reverted to faculty member, that is not illegal dismissal. That is not constructive dismissal. The Supreme Court has already decided that in the case of La Salette of Santiago Isabela versus in LRC, and in the case of this international school, no, the case that I discussed last time, no, which I will discuss later. And then due process, no, there is due process for just cause, there is a due process for authorized cause, and just cause for cause agreed upon. I remember the case, Brent versus Ronaldo Zamora. So when you see willful disobedience, because if you read Article 297, which used to be Article 282, paragraph A is serious misconduct or willful disobedience to a lawful order given by a superior in relation to work. So paragraph A of Article 297 should be divided into two. One for serious misconduct, which is different from insubordination. So our topic, because last Monday we had serious misconduct, today we will have insubordination. So we must study the elements of insubordination. Just like when you study the revised penal code, you know the elements of estafa, the elements of theft, the elements of robbery, the elements of murder, homicide. Here we will study the elements. There are two major elements of insubordination. No? One is there is an order. And remember, an order need not be in writing. Do not require a written order because an order may be verbal. No? If you are ordered to attend the webinar, that is an order. And although it's not in writing, that order emanates from your superior, and that order is lawful and reasonable. It is in connection with your work, and it is made known to the employee. You know, Ma'am Crispy, or sa itong mga nasa HR natin, Ms. Aguilar, when you make an orientation of new employees, no, Ms. Abilia, you should be very emphatic and very clear about insubordination. And for the middle managers, for the frontline supervisors, they must know also the elements of insubordination. You know, I was invited to speak before the Association of HR Managers in ASEAN HR, no? And I reminded him about them about insubordination. So the first is the order, and the order should be lawful, should be reasonable in relation to work, and it is made known to the employee. In other words, the management, if you are charged of illegal dismissal, and the charge is there was dismissal because the employee is guilty of insubordination, management has the burden to prove the order, no? And the order enjoys the presumption of legality or regularity. So he who assails or attacks the validity of the order has the burden of proof. Although it is the burden of the employer to prove that there was an order, if the allegation of the employee is that the order is lawful, prove it. It is not the employer who will prove the legality of the order, because the order is presumed to be legal. It enjoys the presumption of regularity. And the second element is the disobedience. Was the disobedience done with full knowledge of the order? Kasi kanang sa Binisaya na sinabi na hindi ko po nagawa. Ang hindi ko po nagawa, ibig sabihin, sana kung nalaman ko yan na may order, gagawin ko. So pero hindi ko nagawa dahil late na yung memo dumating. Nung dumating ang memo, tapos na yung araw na dapat kong ginawa. So hindi ko nagawa. Hindi yan insubordination, no? Pero yung hindi ko ginawa, no? Yan ang willful. When you see willful, there is knowledge of the order. There is voluntariness because you have the freedom to obey or not, and voluntarily you disobey. Knowledge, freedom, and voluntariness. No? In philosophy, what is the difference between a human act and an act of man? I have invited an ex-seminarian who is an entrepreneur, Mr. Eric Reyes. He will tell you that there's a difference between an act of man and a human act. No? And, here in disobedience, it is very important that the disobedience is willful. No? It is done with full knowledge that there is an order. Kung baga sa kasalanan, ito yung mortal sin. Kasi sa mortal sin, you have knowledge of the matter, no? Gravity of the matter, and full consent of the will. So there is a full consent of the will when you disobey. That was the story I gave you about the disobedience of Adam, which is the first original sin in the Old Testament, in the book of Genesis. The first sin of man was disobedience. No? Disobedience. And it is not a mere error in judgment. Yung bang kamali lang ako, ma'am, kasi hindi ko naintindihan. No? Mahina lang ang utak niya, pero hindi talaga siya soberbio. Hindi siya rebelde. Bubo lang siya. So, baka mapatawad ng Panginoon yung mga bubo kasi alam mo naman ang Panginoon natin, maawain yan sa mga underdog. Kaya naawa sila kay Alan Velasco, underdog, nagiging speaker. So ito yung mga tip. It is not necessary that an order should be in writing. A company policy, a guideline, a manual, ito Ma'am Crispy, the faculty manual is an order. So if you disobey the faculty manual, you are guilty of insubordination. There is already a decided case in the case of Merant when a purchasing officer refused to follow the protocol of purchasing that is provided in the manual because the manual is an order. So if you willfully violate a manual, you are guilty of insubordination. So another job description. Kaya Ms. Abilia, ang mga job description natin, ayusin natin na specific, measurable, time-bound, may key results area, may key performance indicator, because a job description is also an order. And if you violate your duties and responsibilities contained in the job description, it is also the insubordination. No? Yung mga nakalagay diyang and such other matters that may be assigned to you from time to time, ang sabi ng Supreme Court, management should not abuse that. Management limits that. If you are an accountant, Ma'am Crispy, hindi ka pwedeng utusan ng trabaho ng electrician because that is not germane. That is not germane to the job of an accountant. Pwede kang utusan ng bookkeeping, auditing, no? But because they are germane, when you say germane, it germinates from the same seed of origin. So somehow similar, or it belongs to the same phylum in the animal kingdom, although different species, but they belong to the same phylum, different class, no? So, but if it is so alien to the job, utusan mo ba namang pa-drive-in mo yung clerk natin na hindi naman yan lisensyado na driver, tapos hindi siya sumunod na mag-drive? Is that insubordination? No, it is not in relation to his job. You cannot. Yan, nandoon yan sa elements ng insubordination. No? A subordinate is not duty-bound to obey an unlawful order. Kung utosan mo naman yung accountant, pwede ba doktorin mo yung books of account natin. Kasi mag-apply tayo ng loan, gusto natin ipakita na malaki yung mga receivable natin para bigyan tayo ng loan. That is an illegal order. So pag sinabi, ma'am, I'm sorry, I cannot do that, that is unprofessional. Kakasuhan mo na insubordination yung tao? Hindi. You cannot do that. Okay? So I hope that I make the proper introduction before we go into the cases because napakaganda yung mga kaso na papakita ko inyo ngayon. No? Mandatory drug testing. Yan. Society of Social Justice Society versus the when management gives an order to an employee to submit to a drug test and the employee without reason refuses to do so. Anong reason niya? Mag-invoke siya ng Bill of Rights against self-incrimination? No, ma'am, I will not submit to a drug test because the result may incriminate me. That's not acceptable in labor law. The result of this drug test will not be used to prosecute you. This is the lawful exercise of management prerogative to protect the life, the property, and the security of employer. And this is a valid exercise of management prerogative. Now, if you willfully disobey order as decided by the Supreme Court in a line of cases, one of which is this, then you are guilty of insubordination. Refusal to render overtime. You know, if you look at the Labor Code in Book 3, there are instances where overtime can be made mandatory. As a general rule, however, I should warn you that when one person accepts a job, he is only guaranteeing 8 hours a day. Overtime is not a guarantee. But as an exception, when there is extraordinary volume of work, when there is an urgent repair to, when there is a national emergency that we need to save lives and save properties, or when you have started something and if you do not finish, it will cause damage to the company. Halimbawa, nagmasa ka na ng simento, ang dami-dami mong minasa. Pagdating ng alas 5, iwanan mo yan. Sasabihin mo, ay alas 5 na, uwi na ako. Pasisira yun. You have to finish it kahit overtime. You will be compelled to render overtime. Halimbawa, operating rooms ka, nabuksan na yung tiyan ng pasyente. Sabihin mo, alas 5 na, time ko na, iwanan ko na, bukas ko na lang tahiin yan. Buang ka. So that is a situation where you can be compelled to render overtime. Although as a general rule, you cannot be compelled to render overtime. But as an exception, no? Now, in this case of marriage, this is the case that I decided. This Glaxo case, it's a pharma company. This is a very funny case because this is a policy in the pharma company na if you are a midrep in one pharma company and you get married to a midrep of a competitive company, one of you should resign. Kung ang asawa mo nasa AstraZeneca, ikaw nasa Glaxo Wellcome. Ang pangalan ng pharmacy company is Glaxo Wellcome. Tapos ito namang girlfriend niya, si Betsy, napakagandang babae, maputi, matangkad, ang ganda ng katawan. Kaya ito si Pedro Tixon na isang hinire na midref na in love doon kay Betsy. Nakalimutan niya na when he was hired, he was told, ito Pedro ha, pirmahan mo ito, naintindihan mo ito, pag ikaw'y mag-asawa sa lahat-lahat ng babae sa buong mundo, pag pinili mo yung kalaban natin, you are sleeping with the enemy. Either you resign or your wife should resign. Kasi conflict of interest yan. Pumayag mo si Pedro kay pagka mag-apply ka pa ng trabaho, lahat ng sabihin ng management, sabi ka okay. Na pagdating ngayon, sinuway niya ngayon. So management was in a dilemma. Why? Because Pedro Tixon was a very good midrep. Sabi niya, number 1 ito, whole Philippines, number 1 si Pedro Tixon. But because of this violation, sabi ng management, tanggalin ba natin to? Ipa-resign ba natin to si Pedro Tixon? Ayaw naman mag-resign ng asawa niya. No? Sabi ng management, ito na lang ang compromise. Pedro, hindi ka na namin compel na mag-resign. But we will transfer you to Caraga Region, Surigao, Agusan, because we have to remove you from the jurisdiction of your wife, which is Naga, Camarines Sur, para maghiwalay kayo. Sabi naman ng Pedro, bago lang kaming kasal, maghihiwalay na kami. Mamili ka. No? So, ngayon, hindi man siya pumunta doon, kinasuhan siya ngayon ng insubordination, willful disobedience to a lawful order. So, the question now is this, and I was the arbitrator. I discussed this the other day before the Cebu Arbitrators Association. And I told them that the first issue was the policy valid? Kasi ina-attack ng union yung policy. Sabi, this is contrary to public policy. You cannot prohibit marriage. No? Marriage is an inviolable social institution which society cherishes and protects. Ang sabi ko naman doon sa decision ko, he is not prohibited from getting married. He is only told that if he gets married, which is okay with management, and he chooses a woman who belongs to the enemy, then he has to face the consequence. And so, my decision that the dismissal of Tixon was not illegal, the company policy was valid, I was affirmed by the Court of Appeals because a decision of the voluntary arbitrator is appealable to the Court of Appeals. Before, diretso kami sa Supreme Court. Walang Court of Appeals. But because of this case of itong St. Martin funeral, because of the principle of hierarchy of courts, kasi natambakan na ng kaso ang Supreme Court, so ipinadaan sa Court of Appeals. So from Court of Appeals to the Supreme Court. I was also affirmed by the Supreme Court, unanimous. My decision is unanimous. So when it comes to a valid policy, valid order violated by the employee, I will give you a lot of cases of violation. Number 1 case. Ang sabi ng Supreme Court sa kaso ni Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf Philippines versus Rolly Arenas, the elements, the employees' willful disobedience must be intentional and it is characterized by a wrongful and perverse attitude. Kasi dito sa kaso na ito, OA naman ang management, OA talaga. Bakit? Ito si Rolly Arenas, nag-take lang ng break niya kasi may break niya eh. Ngayon, ang daming customer. Tapos nagalit ang management, bakit ikaw nag-break na maraming customer? Because of that, tinanggal siya. Ang sabi ng Supreme Court, the behavior of Arenas was not perverse. His attitude was not perverse. He was availing of a right to which he is entitled and is taking a break. Kaya ikaw, Eric, because you have a coffee shop and your employee is taking a break, and then there are so many customers, that can be a reason to reprimand him or to tell him, wag malasakit ka naman, i-postpone mo yung break mo. But that is not enough to dismiss an employee, because here, napaka-overacting itong management na ito, ay tinanggal niya that there was no insubordination if we consider willfulness as an element. There was no such thing in this case. No. Now, in the case also of Montaliana versus La Consolacion College, and Dr. Velasco, this is very good because this is an educational institution. Merong nag-away-away na mga faculty. It was inside the faculty room. Tapos, nag-away sila ang pinag-awayan nila, nakakatawa sila pala silang mga bata. Parang nag-aaway maging speaker. Kasi ang pinag-awayan nila yung assignment ng ano bang tawag niyan, yung lugar na you put your personal things and then may susi ka, locker. Diyan ba sa College of Law natin, Attorney Wagas, may mga locker tayo?
Wala po, Attorney.
Kasi sa San Beda, kung saan ako nagtuturo ngayon, tsaka sa UE, may mga locker, yung mga estudyante na mga tamad, ayun lang dalhin yung mga malalaking libro. Kasi hindi na sila nagyayabang pag third year at fourth year. Nagyayabang lang sila pag first year lang sila. Yung bang i-display sa jeepney yung revised penal code na Balandra para malaman na law student sila. Pero pagdating na ng fourth year, third year, mga tamad na sila. So iwanan nila. Ang pinaglawayan dito, kaso na ito, ay itong assignment ng locker. So itong mga faculty na parang mga bata, pinag-awitan ngayon ng assistant dean na tumigil kayo. So dahil hindi sila tumigil, nakasuhan sila ng insubordination. Ang sabi naman ng management, ang sabi ng Supreme Court dito, although there was really an act of insubordination, but dismissal was too harsh a penalty in this case. Too harsh. Okay, in the case of Manila Broadcasting Corporation, again, ni-revise lang yung mga elements. Do you know Dr. Velasco at saka Ms. Abella, that when an employee of a company files a certificate of candidacy, whether he wins or he loses, he is considered to have resigned from the company. Another case similar to Manila Broadcasting is the case of ABS-CBN. Merong dalawang announcer dito sa Cebu nangyari. Dalawang talent sila sa drama at yung isa director. And they filed a certificate of candidacy, ang isa sa Lapu-Lapu City for councilor. Ang isa naman sa Naga, Cebu. Naga City na rin ngayon. Pareho silang natalo sa eleksyon. Akala nila dahil mga sikat sila sa radyo, mananalo sila. Natalo sila ngayon. Nung bumalik sila, ang sabi ng management, you can no longer come back because when you filed your certificate of candidacy, you are deemed to have resigned. Because to serve in government and to serve in a private sector are incompatible. No, you cannot serve two masters at the same time. You hate one and you love the other. You are loyal to one and you are disloyal to the other. So, ano nangyari? Di natanggal sila. No? Because they disobeyed an order. There is a written order Alam mo, when I was Vice President of Pepsi Cola, gumawa din ako ng order na ganito. Pero bago ako gumawa ng policy, kinonsulta ko muna lahat ng mga 17 HR managers reporting to me all over the Philippines. Nag-planning kami, gumawa kaming policy. Ang ginawa naming policy is, when you run for a position, any position, during the campaign, you have to take a leave of absence. After the election, you come back. If you lose, you can resume your job. You can go back to your position. If you win, it depends upon the position. If it is a mayor, a barangay captain, or a congressman, or a governor, you cannot come back because it's a full-time job. But if it is a councilor only, a sanggunian that does not require daily reporting for duty, you can come back to your job, but during session, you have to take a leave. And when there is a resolution or an ordinance that pertains to the company, to avoid a conflict of situation, you have to inhibit. You cannot vote against the company or vote for the company because it will put you in a bad light, and it will also put the company in bad light. So that means you have to inhibit when the issue puts you in a conflict of interest situation. So I'm very happy to welcome Attorney Mar Dimco, one of our faculty members. You know, our faculty in the College of Law are very young compared to the time when I was in the College of Law. Our faculty members were very old people. Now with Dean Torregosa, all the employees, all the faculty are quite very young. You belong to Generation Y, no? Generation Y. Kami mga baby boomer kami, no? Baby boomer, mga 1950s, 1960s. Itong mga abogado natin ngayon, mga batang-bata, si Attorney Umpad, Attorney Amistad, Attorney Panilagaw, Attorney Estordio, at saka ito ngayon, si Attorney Dimco. Mga batang-bata sila. But age is not a number of years. It is a state of your mind. It is the quality of your imagination, you know. So, do not be misled by age. Ako nga, 70 na ako, pero mukha lang akong 69. No? Di ba?
True po, true.
69, tumawad lang ako ng isa. Hindi pa ninyo itugot, no? Usarag yung katuig akong gitawad. Okay, itong kaso ni Danilo Magos, no? Versus NLRC. He was a managerial employee and he was clothed with the discretion to determine the circumstances upon which he could implement policies. However, no, of course, ito si Danilo Magos kasi, Attorney Wagas, was a sales manager assigned by Pepsi Cola in the island of Dinagat. Yung Surigao area, noong araw, yung Dinagat hindi pa yan probinsya, kundi part pa yan ng Surigao. So, meron doong isang concessionaire na si Mr. Andanar, which is the father of Secretary Andanar today, no? Yun si Wency Andanar, kaibigan ko yung father niya. Siya ang concessionaire. Pag concessionaire ka ng Pepsi, halimbawa, sabihin mo, concessionaire ka ng buong Binglanilla, ikaw lang ang magbenta dyan ng Pepsi. Walang ibang salesman ng Pepsi Cola pwedeng pasukin yung teritoryo mo. Ito si Danny Magos, siguro Ayaw niya si Andanar. So yung teritoryo ni Andanar, sinasabi na ng Pepsi Cola management sa kanya, huwag mong pasukin yan kasi kakasuhan tayo ng breach of contract. Because we have signed an agreement that that territory is exclusive by Andanar. Andanar will buy all the products from Pepsi Cola, then he will distribute it. Siya nang bahala dyan, magbayad siya sa Pepsi Cola. Of course, kikita siya. Kaya kayong mga in-house nating salesman, pumunta kayo sa ibang teritoryo, huwag niyong pasukin yan. Ito, mayabang ito si Danny Magos. Gusto lang niyang ipakita mataas ang sales niya. Pinasok niya yung Dinagat, pinasok niya yung Siargao. Kung mga isla pinasok niya, di ngayon nakasuhan siya. Ang sabi man niya sa Supreme Court, kakasuhan ba ako ng management na nakakabuti pa naman sa management? Kasi pag pumunta kay Andanar, mas maliit ang kitain ng company. Dito sa akin, sa benta ko, mas malaki ang kitain ng kumpanya. So is that a valid defense for violating a company policy? The answer is no. Whatever you say, Mr. Magos, you have willfully violated a lawful order given by your superiors in relation to your work. Therefore, the elements of insubordination are established. You are guilty of willfully disobeying with knowledge, freedom, and voluntariness, with full consent of your will. Therefore, you are guilty. You lost all your retirement benefits. Yan ang mahirap dito kasi loss of employment benefits ito. Hindi ba pwedeng compassionate justice ito? Hindi ba pwedeng kung 15 years na siya, 20 years, hindi ba pwedeng bayaran ng separation pay? Hindi naman siya nagnakaw sa Pepsi. But sabi nga ni Justice Isagani Cruz sa kaso ng PLDT versus NLRC, that compassion is an imperative of every humane society, but only when the recipient is not a rascal claiming an undeserved privilege. And social justice should not be made the refuge of scoundrels. Can you imagine? Scoundrel ba ito si Magos? Hindi naman. Basta ang kasalanan mo, serious misconduct, insubordination at saka fraud, yan ay wala kang separation pay. Wala kang separation pay, forfeited ang retirement mo. Pero pag ang kasalanan mo, negligence, kasi mahina ang katawan mo, masakitin ka, absent ka ng absent, tapos hindi na talaga makatiis ang management sa iyo kasi gross and habitual neglect of duty ka na, tanggal ka. Pero ang pagtanggal mo, may separation pay kasi hindi ka naman scoundrel, hindi ka rascal. Pero itong tatlong kasalanan na ito, itong serious misconduct, insubordination at saka fraud, walang separation pay. Kahit 30 years in service ka pa, for 30 years honest ka, nagkamali ka na isang beses, erase lahat ng retirement mo. Separation po. Uwi ka na, mamatay kang luhaan dahil sinira mo yung pangalan sa huling araw ng pagtrabaho mo. Kung kailan ka matanda, wala kang pinagtandaan. Napakasakit. So supervisors and managers, the company is more strict with you. Ito yung sinasabi sa Biblia na to whom much is given, much is expected. So kung kayo, mataas ang katungkulan ninyo, kayo pa yung nag-violate ng rules, kayo nga dapat ang magpapatupad ng rules, kayo pang unang nag-violate, the law will be more strict with you. No? To whom much is given, much is expected. Management implemented a reorganization and notified Miss Neren Villanueva that she was transferred from reception department to storage department. Para bang na-insulto siya dito, madam? Kasi biro mo naman, reception ka. Siyempre, medyo maganda ka, reception ka eh. Ngayon ilipat ka sa storage. So, she refused the transfer. Alam mo, ang allegation niyang constructive dismissal. Alam mo yung constructive dismissal will be accepted only if there was diminution in pay, demotion in rank, at saka yung talagang para bang iniinsulto ka na, nilalait ka na. Halimbawa, Ma'am Crispy, ikaw, mataas ng katungkulan mo, dean ka, student affairs, tapos napag-initan ka. Halimbawa lang, example lang, huwag mo mangyari. Yung dati mong tauhan na utos-utusan mo lang, ito na ngayon maging boss mo. So ibig sabihin, nililipat ka ngayon sa isang tao na para bang ang tingin mo talaga sa kanya, hindi mo siya pwedeng igalang, no? Or susundin. Kasi ito ay inuutos-utusan mo lang dati. So that is really a constructive dismissal because you are put in a very embarrassing situation na pagtawanan ka sa buong organisasyon na ano bang nangyayari sa taong yan. Ang ganda ng career ngayon ay bigla na lamang inassign doon sa isang maliit na unit, tapos tao-tauhan pa siya doon sa inalisan siya ng room, maliit na table na lang, tapos para bang kinakawawa talaga siya. That is constructive dismissal, no? Pero ito, sumunod muna siya. Alam mo, ang advice ko talaga sa mga empleyado, kahit sa San Miguel, sa Pepsi, ganito ang gawin ko, ang advice ko. When you receive an order, obey first. And then you show your humility. And later on, you ask for reconsideration. Magpakita ka muna ng pagpapakumbaba. Kasi he who humbles himself shall be exalted. And he who exalts himself shall be humbled. Amen? Oh, dapat sumagot kayong amen. No?
Amen.
So, yan ang nangyari kay Nerin Villanueva, no? Dahil sa hindi siya sumunod. Dito, I will give you many cases about refusal to transfer. One is the case of Chatur Royal. This was decided by Justice Bersamin before he became a Chief Justice. By the way, Justice Bersamin and Justice Peralta are my neighbors here in where I am broadcasting now. They are my neighbors. They are both Chief Justice. So si Bersamin, ang anak niya si Pia, was my student, classmate siya ni Velasco, yung kuan ngayon, yung speaker. RTC judge na si Pia. Tapos yung kanyang boyfriend na classmate din niya, city judge na Makati. City judge lang siya kasi husband lang siya. Si Pia, anak ng Chief Justice. Siyempre, ganun talaga ang buhay. Balik tayo dito. Chatur Royal. Merong isang empleyada na assigned doon. Ang Chatur Royal kasi is a country club. It's a resort in Batangas. Pero meron silang office sa Makati. And then, yung office nila sa Makati, merong tinatawag na marketing manager. And then, itong mga empleyada na ito, si Rachel Balba, dalawa ito eh. Marketing officer siya. And he was assigned on the site, in the site of the complex which is in Batangas. Samantala, ang manager, side office. Ay biglang pinirate ang manager, pinirate ng isang malaking hotel dito sa, I think, itong City of Dreams. Pinirate siya sa City of Dreams. So, nabakante ngayon ang marketing manager sa Makati. And this Rachel was a marketing officer. Instead of hiring from the outside, management decided to give a chance to insider. And Rachel Balba, being the next in rank, was the most logical candidate for the position. And she was called to transfer to Makati. She refused. She refused because that would dislocate her away from her husband and away from her young children. And she was given a chance, no, to reconsider her refusal. But she persisted in her refusal. Well, we cannot blame her. When there is a conflict between career and family, she chose family. But there is a consequence. The consequence is willful disobedience to a lawful order given by a superior in relation to work. And therefore, she lost her job without separation pay, and the dismissal was affirmed by the Supreme Court, speaking through Justice Bersamin, later Chief Justice. Transfer employees, this is a 2019 case. The management enjoys the prerogative to assign and transfer employees. It is a valid exercise of management prerogative provided that there is no demotion in rank or diminution in pay, even if it will dislocate the employee. You know, pagka mag-apply pa ng trabaho ang empleyado, tatanungin mo, anong posisyon ang gusto mo dahil? Ang sagot niya, kahit anong posisyon, sir, basta maipasok lang. Ngayon bisag unsang posisyon na, sir, basta masulod lang. Karon na ka sa posisyon, dili man kamo tahod. Balhin ka from one position to another. Hindi ka. Sabi ng Supreme Court, you do not have a torrents title to your position. Security of tenure does not mean security to your position. Because management is given the latitude to make a decision based on its appraisal of your aptitude, your skills, your competence, your behavioral pattern, your relationship with your subordinate. Management can reshuffle, can transfer, can change your assignment. No? So, and you have to obey. You cannot question management. No? Ngayon, kung talagang masakit sa'yo, manghingi ka ng reconsideration. Kaya na kung giingon nga kamo, ayaw mo pag hinambog ba nga awayon din yung management. Sa Tagalog, ako nang giingon, huwag mong duraan ang langit. Kung sa Bisaya pa, ayaw lud ang langit. Og lud animang langit, asa man punta ang luwa. So, ako nang giingon, ang langit, kailangan nga magpaubos mo, unya mangayo mo konsiderasyon. Kinsa may dili malukmay kung magpaubos mo. Kaysa mag-arrogante mo, ang management may abogado, lalabanan ka. Ikaw, gagastos ka pa. So, sundin mo muna, then later on, manghingi kang konsiderasyon kasi meron naman kasing boss na masyadong diktador eh. Tapos gusto niyang testingan kanya kung sunod bagyo kaniya. Sige, sunod ko sir, nagpakita ako. Pero ay palabi sir, kay na ako'y pamilya. Mga ayaw lang ang konsiderasyon. Pero sa batas, musunod yun ka. Not all transfers are tantamount to constructive dismissal. No, in this case, respondent employee claims that she was constructively dismissed. However, it was not shown that her transfer was prompted by ill will. The transfer is presumed to be valid and presumed to be in good faith. And if you assail the validity of this transfer, you have the burden to prove, to submit evidence to destroy the purity of the intention of management in transferring you. Ito si Juliet Apasible. Ito maminaw mo kaysa Cebu ra ba ni nahitabo? kinsa ka itong abogado nga iyang gikuha. Si Joliet Apasible, isang Batangginya, Apasible taga Nasugbu yan, Batangas. Pero she was assigned here in Cebu. Alam nyo, ang mga Tagalog, pag na-assign sa Cebu, talagang magugustuhan nila ang Cebu. Bakit? Ang sarap ng mga pagkain, ang bait ng mga tao. Tapos, hindi pareho sa Maynila, sobrang gulo, sobrang traffic. Dito sa Cebu may traffic din, pero hindi pareho sa Maynila. So, pag ikaw taga Luzon ka, ma-assign ka sa Cebu, ma-inlove you ka sa Cebu. And ito, one day, after so many years of enjoying Cebu, she was given a memo to transfer to Pasig. Pasig is the head office of this pharma company, the Multimed Industries. And she was ordered to turn over the car because she was assigned an official company car to turn over that car to her replacement. Of course, alam mo, sa kumpanya may mga politika-politika din yan eh. Diba, bata kita, assign kita Cebu. Ganyan. Yung nasa Cebu, lipat natin. Ganyan ang nangyari sa akin eh. Nasign ako sa Kuwait eh. Napakahirap na assignment. Araw-araw may pinapatay, may nire-rape. 175 OFWs, ako lang nag-iisa. So, because politika yun eh. Pag na-threaten yung secretary sa iyo, tapos maghingi ka ng foreign assignment, ilagay ka talaga sa mahirap na assignment. Okay lang sa akin because the bigger the challenge, doon talaga ako enjoy pag mataas ang challenge. Pero ito, si Joliet Apasible, ginawang negative. Nakipag-away siya, kumuha siya ng lawyer from Cebu. Batang-bata na lawyer, bagong pasabar. Alam mo ginawa ng lawyer? Sumulat ng very arrogant, very adversarial, very antagonistic letter na challenging the power of management, na marami siyang ini-invoke na mga, alam mo naman, bagong abogado magpapasikat-sikat. Tingnan mo, natalo ito si Joliet Apasible. Natalo siya. At the Supreme Court upheld the validity of her transfer because in this marketing industry, yung mga sales talaga, when you apply for a midrep, nakasulat na doon yan sa application form. Are you willing to be transferred from any location to another? Answer mo, yes. You bind yourself to an agreement. Therefore, if you violate that, you do not only violate your contract, but you defy the authority of your employer, and you will fall under paragraph A of Article 297, which used to be Article 282 of the Labor Code. So, ganun yan. Ito naman sa Westin Plaza, alam nyo, pag pumunta kayo sa hotel, merong sa mga 5-star hotel, merong mga naka-uniforme, naka-Amerikana na malaking tao na medyo mahitsura na bubuksan ang door. Ito yung trabaho nitong taong ito, no? Tapos, dahil nga maraming nagreklamong mga customer na bastos daw, maraming mga sexual harassment, yung mga salita ba na bastos, binabastos yung mga guest ng Philippine Plaza Hotel. Nag-desisyon ang management, ilipat ito sa laundry department. Ito naman, sobra naman itong management na ito. Laundry department. Alam mo, ginawa niya, hindi siya nag-report. Nagre-report siya sa trabaho, but pumupunta siya doon sa union office. Hindi siya nagre-report doon. Hindi siya nagre-report doon sa bago niyang assignment, laundry department. Kasi ang sabi niya, sa gwapo kong ito, ilalagay niyo ako sa laundry. Ano ako? Kaya ako nag-apply dito nasa front talaga ako. Ako unang makikita ng guest. Parang sabi, ang gwapo ng mga tao dito. Siya ang una. Dahil bastos siya, nilipat siya. Ngayon, the Supreme Court said, you have to obey and your willful disobedience to a lawful order given by your superior in relation to your work is an act of insubordination. Therefore, there is a just cause to the termination of your employment. Period. Yan. Ito namang isang kapitan ng barko. Do you know that the Philippines is the #1 suppliers of seafarers all over the world? And walang barko sa buong mundo na walang Pilipino. Kung hindi kapitan, first mate, second mate, merong mga chief engineer, no? Second engineer. Na pinaka-lowest dyan, kusinero, messman, able-bodied seaman, basta may Pilipino. Ito kapitan ng barko eh. Tapos pinalipat siya pagdating doon sa ibang bansa. Merong dispatch na communication. Transfer to another vessel. Turn over all the documents and turn over your vessel. You know, if you're captain, ang tawag sa'yo, you are the master of the vessel. And you can even solemnize marriage under extraordinary circumstances. Can you imagine that? Kapitan ka ng barko, meron kang public function, pwede kang mag-solemnize ng marriage. Ayaw niya sumunod, di natanggal siya. Ayaw niya mag-disembark. Refusal to transfer from one project site to another is a form of insubordination and a just cause to dismiss. Kita mo? Lahat na yan. Ito naman, PT-anti. Alam mo, Ma'am Crispy, nung bata pa tayo, merong PT-anti, may RCPI, may CRC. Naalala mo yan, Ma'am Crispy? Yung bang pag Valentine's Day, magpadala ka ng social telegram doon sa boyfriend mo, sa girlfriend mo. Dati nga, nasa Southwestern ako, nagpapadala ako ng social telegram doon sa nursing home doon sa Orhelio. Kasi Southwestern ako nag-aral noon AB, bago ako nakarating sa UB. So, merong Madrid doon, binuksan yung mga sulat namin. Sabi ng girlfriend ko, yung boyfriend ko, law student yan, pwede kang ihabla, sister. Natakot yung Madrid, pinuntahan ako. Ngayon, dahil sa ginawa niya, pwede na akong bisita kahit hindi visiting hour. But here, in this case, itong kaso ni Laplana, no? Laplana, isang cashier ito sa Baguio. Ililipat siya sa Ilocosur, sa Bigan, Ilocosur. Alam niyo, akala niyo malapit yun? Because sabi, malapit lang yun. Hindi yan malapit. Mga 4 hours pa mag-travel ka. Dadaan ka sa San Fernando, La Union, hanggang doon sa bundok. Dadaan ka puntang Bigan. Dadaan ka sa Narbacan, Ilocosur. Ako, napuntahan ko na yan hanggang Ilocos Norte. Ito, ayaw lumipat no ni Laplana. Kasi daw, yung husband niya masyadong mahilig sa chicks. Pag mawala daw siya, mag-chicks yan. Masisira yung marriage niya. Bakit ako, why single me out to transfer to Bigan? There are very many new employees. Why not transfer them? I am the most senior here in Baguio. Why single me out? So, hindi siya sumunod. Tanggal siya. File siya ng kaso. Talo siya. Ito yung sinabi ko sa inyong refusal to render overtime. Tapos na tayo sa transfer. Ito, refusal to render overtime. No? Despite his knowledge that there is a production deadline that needs to be met, and without him being the offset machine operator, no printing can be done. And that knowledge of that fact is an indication of a perverse and wrongful and perverse mental attitude. Kita mo, sinabi ng Supreme Court. No? Ganon din sa kaso ng Rialda versus New Age Graphics. Printing din ito. in making absences during a time when the workload was heavy. Kung kailan napakadami, April, May, maraming mga graduation, gagawa ka ng mga yung annual na mga estudyante, may deadline yan. And then if the printing press cannot deliver on time, there is a penal clause. Magbabayad ng malaking halaga ang management if we cannot deliver based on our job order that we sign. And this is due to the refusal of Rialda. So pinalitan siya, nakagasto ang management ng malaki because siyempre pag other people, overtime, holiday, mas malaki yung labor cost. So because of that termination of his services was considered valid. Ito yung drug test. Another case about drug test. The employees of this company, Kings Point, are members of the union. And they believe that the company is doing this to them because of their union activities. They are alleging that the company, by the exercise of its prerogative against the union officers and members, that the company allegedly committed unfair labor practice. But the Supreme Court did not find a link between their union membership and their willful disobedience. So their willful disobedience was considered as a ground for termination under Article 297, formerly Article 282 of the Labor Code. You know, again, I reiterate, ladies and gentlemen, that when you take the bar, be sure to cite the article. Sabihin niyo, sir, hindi namin maalala yung number. Bakit hindi niyo maalala ang illegal dismissal? Isang article lang, hindi niyo maalala. Article 282, 297, pagka just cause. Assuming na makalimutan niyo yung number, di sabihin niyo, according to Book 6 of the Labor Code as amended, you are given a situation in the bar and you are made, the question of the examiner is the dismissal legal? No? Is the dismissal legal? Was there insubordination in this case? So dapat, ang sagot nyo dyan, there must be a legal basis because the examiner is looking for an indication in your answer that manifests your knowledge of the law. So your answer must indicate your citation of the law. So your answer is, yes, the dismissal was legal, period. Deductive reasoning to. And then you present the major premise. What is the major premise? Under Article 297, formerly Article 282, of the Labor Code as amended, kailangan may kama kasi ang kama para makahinga yung magbasa. Kasi kung sulat kayo ng sulat walang kama, baka hindi makahinga yung magbasa, magalit pa sa inyo. So kailangan may kama, no? As amended. Under Article 297, formerly Article 282 of the Labor Code as amended, insubordination is a just cause to dismiss. That is your legal premise. Ang second premise nyo, second paragraph, in the case at bar, it is clear that Mr. X willfully disobeyed a lawful order given by his superior in relation to his work, which is tantamount to insubordination. Period. Therefore, yan, conclusion. Therefore, the examiner submits that dismissal on the basis of insubordination was valid. So, tatlong part ng answer niyo eh. Una yung legal premise. Sunod yung factual premise. The major premise of your syllogism is the law. The minor premise are the facts. And then you make a conclusion. Your conclusion is above at below. Pwedeng deductive, pwedeng inductive reasoning. So, paano kayo magkamali? How can you get wrong? Pag-cite mo pa lang ng law, believe na sa iyo ang examiner. Alam niya. Alam niya. He knows what he is talking about. This person is prepared and he deserves to become a lawyer. Tapos ang English mo maganda, no? At ang penmanship maganda. Kita mo lahat ng ingredients. Logical ang answer, forceful ang communication skills, English is impeccable, penmanship is amazing. What more are you looking for? This might be even a candidate for top 10. Alam mo kasi, yung mga examiner, may tatlong kuan yan sudlanan sa mga booklet ba. Pag nag-check sila, meron siyang maliit na sudlanan nga, gamay nga basket dire sa tuo niya, sa kanan niya. Yung mga probable top notcher, impeccable ang English, maganda ang penmanship, very strong ang communication skills, logical ang answer, may knowledge of the law. Ilagay niya dyan sa kanan. Tapos meron namang nag-answer na ito, makapasa ito, pero hindi ito pang top notcher. So ilagay din niya dito sa wala basket. Pero yung pinakamalaking lagyanan, yung laundry basket nga dako to sa tubangan niya, ibalibag yung notebook. Walang hiya ka. Sumakit ang ulo ko sa iyo, nagbasa ako sa answer mo. Your answer is hazardous to my health and your penmanship constitutes an unlawful aggression. Ba? Your penmanship constitutes an unlawful aggression and your English is hazardous to my health. Bakit? Tataas ang presyon ko dito sa English mo. Ano bang ginagawa mo? Yung subject mo does not agree with your predicate and you have no logic. What kind of English? How did you pass the portrait? Pagalitan ba? Saan ka ba galing? Ganon. Alam mo yung matanda na yung mga examiner. Ganon yan. Magagalit pa yun. Kaya dapat ang language mo is very diplomatic. The examinee humbly submits. The examinee begs to distinguish. Third person, para kayong gumawa ng pleadings, comes now the examinee. No? Huwag niyong answer, bastusin niyo yung direct na first person. Dapat third person. The examinee respectfully submits that the dismissal is legal. Period. No? Under the law, particularly Article 297 of the Labor Code, insubordination is a just cause for termination of employment. Period. In the case at bar, it is shown indubitably that Mr. X was guilty of insubordination because he willfully disobeyed a lawful order given by his superior in relation to his work. Ergo, therefore, the examinee submits that his dismissal based on insubordination is legal. No, kung saitan pa ninyo ng desisyon ng Supreme Court, di lalo na maging bartap na sir kayo. This is in keeping with the well-settled rule in this jurisdiction as manifested in a long line of cases, one of which is the case of Kakampi versus Kings Point Express. No? Pero alam mo, pag binasa nyo yung mga notebook ng mga Bartap Natcher, last year ang Bartap Natcher number 2, si Fatima Pahariman, estudyante ko yun. Si Fatima Pahariman sa UE, napakasimple, Muslim, babae, very modest, babae, kuan. Maganda siya pero yung bang very kuan siya, very conservative. Muslim conservative. hindi mo nga pwedeng kamayan eh. Kasi bawal yun, haram. Alam mo, nagiging number 2 sa bar. Kaya ngayon, tumaas ang enrollment ng UA. Tapos, nagturo din ako sa San Beda. Meron din silang 2 top 10 sa San Beda, Alabang. Kaya tinalo ngayon ng San Beda, Alabang yung main na San Beda. Eh. So, ganun lang yun ang buhay. Bakit? Alam mo, para maging bar top notcher ka, number 1, commitment, focus sa trabaho mo, sa focus sa study mo. Yung bang wala kang maraming mga distraction, yung bang punta sa Starbucks tapos inom ng kape nito, tapos merong music sa tainga, tapos sigarilyo. Anong klase yan? Kami pag mag-aral kami sa loob ng kwarto, walang cellphone, wala pang cellphone nung araw eh. Kaya nga sinabi ko nga yan before eh. Kahit maghubad pa yung babae sa harap ko, hindi ko titingnan. Basta basa lang ako. Pero hawakan ko rin siya kasi there is a sufficient provocation. There is lack of provocation on my part. And the means that I use is just reasonable. So, ganun lang yun. Ito. Katawan itong Makati Haberdashery. A person who is constantly absent was ordered to explain. He refused to explain. He refused to submit an explanation. Alam mo, this case, ako doubtful ako dito eh. Because when you are asked to explain, you are given a due process. So it is a right of the employee to be heard. So if it is a right, it can be waived. He does not want to explain, so he is waiving his right to be heard. But here, in this case, the Supreme Court considered the refusal to explain as a willful disobedience to a lawful order. That is a decision that was promulgated by the highest court of the land. Dito naman sa Davao, yung driver ng truck ng company, Mercantile Company of Davao, merong rules and regulation on the use of company vehicle. You cannot use company vehicle without a trip ticket. No? Hindi siya sumusunod kasi union president siya. Di natanggal siya because of that. That is a simple, ganon din sa kaso ng Family Planning Organization. Yan, Danilo Malgos, I already explained this to you. Autobus, sa Cebu ito, awayin mo yung employer mo, tanggal ka. Sa willful violation of company policy is a just cause to terminate. As I was saying, a manual of the company is a continuing order. So when you willfully disobey the provision of the manual, whether it is a financial manual, an HR manual, security manual, any manual that is promulgated by the company, that constitutes a continuing instruction, a continuing order by the company, and when you willfully disobey that order, that constitutes an insubordination. Ito naman yung mga kaso na walang insubordination. A crew member was ordered by the captain to carry the baggage of a person. That person was disembarked. Merong tao na dinisembark sa ibang bansa kasi unruly behavior. Merong isang crew member na magulo. So itong telephone operator, inutusan ng kapitan para lumabas yung unruly behavior na yan, you carry his baggage. Gusto sana niyang sumunod, pero sinabihan man siya ng yung unruly person na makakasaksak ako pag ginawa mo yan. Kasi ayaw niyang umalis eh. Pinapalabas siya sa barko. So hindi sumunod itong telephone operator. And because of that, siya naman ang tinanggal, yung telephone operator. Ang sabi ng Supreme Court, no, if you look at the elements of insubordination, he was constrained by fear. Alam niyo, sa memorize tayo ng mga exempting circumstances, mga justifying circumstances. Isa yan eh, yung mga fear for your life, fear for your security. So even if you want to, you are constrained, you are being restrained by your fear. So that was a good excuse, and he was not willfully disobeying an order. Itong mga security guard sa Basilan, in-ordera na pumunta sa Maynila pero hindi binigyan ng pamasahe. Hindi nakarating. Insubordination ba yan? How can you order your security guards from Basilan to report to Manila and then you do not give a transportation money? And when they do not arrive in Manila, you will accuse him of willful disobedience? The order is not reasonable. So the first element is not complied with. Ito namang sa Yuko Chemicals, yung dalawang law student, nag-aral ito eh. Merong law school doon eh. Tapos sila yung nag-organize ng union. Sila pa ngayon ang ilipat doon sa layo-layo na wala ng kabihasnan. So they were singled out. That transfer really was an unfair labor practice. That is a restraint, interference, and coercion in the exercise of the right to self-organization. And that was not a valid order. Therefore, there was no insubordination. Ito yung transfer from Basilan to Manila. Ito naman, pocket bill. An employee's refusal to transfer from Metro Manila to Davao. Ito, meron itong family corporation, tapos nag-away-away ang dalawang faction ng family. At kumampi siya sa isang faction. Noong natalo yung faction na kinumpihan niya, pinag-initan siya, lilipat siya sa Davao. And that kind of transfer was motivated by ill will. That transfer was not reasonable. Therefore, disobedience to that kind of order was not considered as insubordination. Madali lang yan eh. Pag ang transfer is tantamount to constructive dismissal because it caused demotion in rank or resulted in diminution in salary, or it is highly inconvenient and reasonable, prejudicial to the employee, then you cannot use your prerogative to transfer in order to violate the right of security of tenure. Alam mo yung Article 19 of the Civil Code of the Philippines. Every employer in the exercise of his prerogative must act with justice, give the employee his due, and observe honesty and good faith. Sic oteri tuo ut alienum non laedas. Use your right to transfer in a manner that does not violate the security of tenure of the employee. So kung ikaw yon official ka, ililipat ka talaga para maligaw ka at mahiwalay ka sa yung mga member, that is ULP. That is a violation of your right. Dalawang right ang binayolate eh. Right to self-organization and the right to the right to security of tenure. And both rights are guaranteed in Article 13, Section 3 of the Constitution. No? Guaranteed by the state. The state shall afford full protection to labor, local or overseas, organized or unorganized, and shall guarantee labor the right to self-organization, the right to collective bargaining, the right to peaceful concerted action, including the right to strike in accordance with law, and the right to security of tenure, among other rights. Yan. Ito. Itong babae, inorderan, Ma'am Crispy. Nandiyan ka ba, Ma'am Crispy?
Yes, attorney.
Alam mo ito, nakakatawa ito kasi yung subordinate, si Virginia Pasya, inorderan siya ng boss niya na mag-prepare ka ng cheque. Ayaw niya mag-prepare. Alam mo kung bakit? Wala na tayong deposit, sir. Mag-issue tayo ng cheque. Makasuhan pa tayo ng bouncing check. Kasi wala tayong pera, ba tayo mag-issue? Because she refused to issue, to prepare the check, she was dismissed for insubordination. Pero ang ganda ng depensa niya. I was motivated by an honest intention to protect the company. So my mind is not perverse. I have no willful intention to inflict injury and to disobey my company. I'm only trying to protect my company. Kita mo yung gano'n? Pero may baliktad dyan, Ma'am Crispy. Yung isa naman, nung nag-file sila ng income tax, ang ginawa niya, dinoktor niya yung mga libro para mas maliit na tax yung babayaran niya. Ngayon, ang nangyari, nadiskubrihan ng company na nandaya sa tax. Napasama pa yung company. So tinanggal siya. Ang sabi niya, nagmamalasakit lang ako sa kumpanya. But you cannot commit a crime in order to justify, no? The end does not justify the means. No? Even if your end is commendable, if your means is illegal, you still have to be dismissed. Yan ang sinasabi ko eh. Yan. Yung isang teacher ng computer sa Lawag. Sa Lawag ito, Ilocos Norte. Lagi ako doon kasi ang St. Paul University Board of Trustees ako doon Nandoon sa Tugigaraw, Cagayan. Tapos punta ako sa Lawag, no? Meron ding St. Paul doon. From Lawag, magbiyahe ka to Bigan. Malayo yon from Ilocos Norte to Ilocos Sur. Pero ang ganda ng highway ng mga ginawa ng mga Marcos. Very nice there. Ito si William Baruga was a teacher teaching computer in a school called Data Center College with a branch in all the cities in Ilocos. And he was assigned in the head office, which is in Lawag. And then he was ordered to transfer to Abra. Abra, alam mo, ang Abra, malayo yan Alam mo, akala nyo, malapit lang Abra to Ilocos. Abra is not Ilocos region anymore. It is Cordillera Administrative Region. So, ito yung lugar ni Chief Justice Bersamin Abra. Napaka-bundukin na lugar. So, ayaw lumipat ni William Baruga doon kasi yung ama niya, siya lang nag-alaga. And maiwanan niya yung ama niya. Alam mo, ang Pilipino talaga, makapamilya tayo. Sometimes you make a choice between your family and your career. Andito, again, ito si Baruga, nangibabaw ang kanyang pagmamahal sa ama niya, hindi niya maiwan, tanggal siya sa trabaho niya. At ang pag-transfer sa kanya, yung pagtanggal sa kanya was upheld by the Supreme Court. So, Itong importanteng kaso ngayon sa insubordination, ito si Jenny Pecson. Robinson's Supermarket. Ito, kuanto, Gokongwei Group. Ito si Pecson was a sales clerk of Robinson in 1987. Then she was promoted, no? Assigned as a provincial coordinator. No? Mali ang date dito. 1977 ito. Tapos 1987 din. 2000, tama. 2006. Ginawa siyang provincial coordinator. So, sa lahat ng Robinson, sa isang province, lipat-lipat siya. Mag-coordinate siya sa mga branches. And she believed that it was a demotion. And it was a clerical job. So she was given 48 hours to explain her disobedience. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot use 48 hours now because the Supreme Court decided that when you order an employee to explain, it must at least be 5 days. Calendar days, not working days. 5 days. You give, that is called ample opportunity because he has to study his defense, he has to consult a lawyer or ask somebody to explain to him the implications and the consequences of disobedience. Mali din itong 48 hours eh. Kasi pag gumamit-gamit kayo ng hours, sa military lang yan eh, yung explain within 72 hours. Alam mo ba, Dr. Velasco, na napakadaming concept sa military na kinuha ng HR? Alam mo ba ito, Miss Abilia, na tayong taga-HR, nanghihiram tayo sa military. Alam mo ba yung 201 file? The term 201 file is a military term. Pag sinabi mong line function, staff function, that's a military term. Kaya pag sinabi mong explain within 48 hours, that's a military. Military yan eh. Saka yung word na command responsibility, that is also military. No? Ito, hindi siya naka-explain. And nag-file siya ng kaso constructive dismissal. Ang sabi ng arbiter, your case is dismissed. Ikaw ang may kasalanan. Hindi ka tinanggal, nilipat ka lang. Ikaw ang matigas ang ulo, sumagdusa ka, sabi ng arbiter. Nag-appeal sa NLRC, talo rin siya. Nag-appeal sa Court of Appeals, talo din siya. Nag-appeal sa Supreme Court, talo din siya. Pero mo, ituloy yung kaso, talo siya all the way. 4 na level, talo siya. Dito ang Supreme Court, speaking through Justice Reyes, give a lecture on the meaning of management prerogatives, the doctrine of management prerogatives. You know, when you own a company, you have the right to make a decision on the manner of managing your company. So, ang management prerogative springs from property ownership and its modification. Bukto ito ng Civil Code, property. Bakit ka may management prerogative? Dahil ikaw may-ari ng negosyo, you represent the owner. Therefore, you can hire, you can fire, you can transfer, you can promote, you can lay off, you can discipline. Saan mo kinuha yung power na yan? Wala naman sa Constitution yan. Wala yan sa Labor Code. Saan mo kinuha yan? That is inherent. Parang police power yan, inherent in the state. That is inherent in management. By the fact that you are the employer and you are management, you have the inherent right. Yan ang sinabi ko nung una nating umpisa dito sa review na. Yung sinabi ko na ang management prerogative is golden rule. Naalala nyo yun? Bakit golden rule? He who owns the gold makes the rules. Kung ikaw ang may-ari ng isang pag-aari, ikaw ang magsasabi kung sino ang pahawakin mo sa pag-aari mo. Tama ba yun? Sinasabi ko, Attorney Umpad, na ang pag-aari kasi property. Ang paghawak ay manage. Kasi ang salitang management, hinango yan sa Latin na manus, meaning hand. So pag sinabi mo, Attorney Umpad, sabihin mo doon sa kasamahan mo, can you manage my property? Sa Tagalog niyan, pwede mo bang hawakan ang pag-aari ko? Oh, mali ba yun? Yung sinasabi ko. So, when you transfer an employee, nilipat mo ang isang tao, empleyado mo, to another property. From one branch to another. And you have the inherent right to do that. Except if you abuse your right, you go out of the bounds of your rights because all prerogatives have limitations. You cannot use your prerogative to commit unfair labor practice. You cannot use your prerogative to demote employees or to diminish his salary. There is a limit, but within the bounds, your prerogative should be upheld. Because if you are deprived the prerogative to transfer, then you are deprived of your property without due process of law. Napakadali yung ipaliwanag eh. There are limitations imposed by law, by the general principles of fair play. Pag general principles of fair play, ang gamitin nyo dyan, Article 19. Every person in the exercise of his rights and in the performance of his duty must act with justice, give everyone his due, and observe honesty and good faith. Now, if you exercise that kind of fair play, fairness, when you exercise your right to transfer, well, you enjoy the presumption of regularity. And he who says otherwise has the burden of proof. Yan ang nangyari dito kay Jenny Pecson eh. Transfer niya from one position to another. Wala namang diminution. It is not motivated by discrimination. No? There is no ill will. Minsan kasi ang tao, siya ang gagawa ng sarili niyang anino eh. Yung bang there are people na hindi naman siya ang pinag-uusapan pero ang duda niya, siya yung gilibak. That is a mental illness. That is psychological disorder. Yung bang nilipat ka lang in good faith yung management, bigyan mo ng masama na motivation ang management. Tapos hindi ka susunod. At the end of the day, ikaw mag-suffer dyan. When his transfer is not unreasonable. Tamo ang Supreme Court ha, pag mag-English yan, dalawang negative ha, not unreasonable. But hindi na lang niya sinabing when his transfer is reasonable. Positive pa. Ito, dalawang negative eh. Ang dalawang negative, pagsamahin mo, nagiging positive yun. When his transfer is not unreasonable. No? It is a privilege inherent in the employer to control and manage. No? And the prerogative to transfer must be exercised without abuse of discretion. No? And in this case, no, constructive dismissal is not assumed. It must be proven. No? Does it exist? Yan, example ng mga constructive dismissal. In this case, there is no constructive dismissal. Ito naman, ito na ang huli na kaso na i-discuss ko tonight. Ito si Nathaniel Dongon. Mayong tao ni siya. You know, doon ito nangyari sa pier. Si Nathaniel Dongon, merong bagong empleyado na wala pang ID. Kasi bago pa bagong hire. So pag wala kang ID, hindi ka makapasok sa compound kasi yung ID mo ilalagay mo para bumukas yung pinto eh. High-tech yung company nila eh. So, ito si Dongon, as a good Samaritan, nagmalasakit siya sa bagong hire. Ginamit niya yung ID niya para makapasok yung bagong hire. Because of that, sometimes sa buhay ng tao, gagawa ka ng mabuti, mapahama ka pa. Because of that, kinasuhan pa si Dongon. Una, insubordination ka. Bakit? Hindi ka sumunod ng protocol. Hindi ka pwedeng ipagamit yung ID mo sa iba. Pero yung paggamit niya sa ID ng iba, hindi yan pandadaya. No? Kasi pumasok din naman siya. Yung ipagamit mo yung ID mo sa iba para mamarkahan ang present. Pero wala ka. Yun ang pandadaya. Pero ito, nandoon siya. Double entry nga sila. Dalawang swipe siya. So, natanggal siya ngayon. Alam mo naman, OA naman ang management dito eh. No? Doon pa sa Otis, sa Tanduay pa ito eh. Sa pier pa ito. So, in this case, the disobedience was not willful. And here, panalo si Nathaniel Dongon dito. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is 4 minutes before 8 o'clock. I want to thank you and at Dean Wagas, I will now stop share so that you can take picture for everybody.
Yes,
and we have a folder of all the pictures that we take. Sana naman yung iba, buksan ninyo yung mga bintana nyo para makita yung kagandahan nyo. Tingnan mo si Dr. Velasco, bumabata siya. Parang enjoy siya sa buhay niya. Saka happy siya. No? Alam mo, makita mo ang taong happy sa mukha niya. Eh. No? Kayong mga kukuha ng bar, huwag kayong magmugot-mugot. Ayaw mo pag muro-muro ba, mugot-mugot. Kay kanang mga taong magmugot-mugot, mga mapasukan niya ng masamang espiritu. Eh. No? So, para makapasok yung angel sa inyo, mag-smile kayo. Tingnan mo yan si Shelly, naka-smile. Pati si Emeline Cucutano. Yan ang mga loyal natin dito. Eh. Maraming loyal dito na hindi uma-absent, no? Yung iba, nagpapalit ng pangalan. Yung iba, number lang. Ano naman taong number lang? Paano natin ma-record yan? Number lang? Sino kaya yun?
Sa device na niya, attorney.
Baka yung iba nga sa cellphone lang. Pwede pa lang mag-attend ng Zoom sa cellphone?
Yes, attorney. Yes po, Yusek.
Paano makita yung buong
Kuan lang. Ikaw lang ang makita, Yusek. Ang imuhang slides o ikaw when you're talking.
Ganon? Ikaw, makita dyo ka kay naapay mga background mo daghang kaing libro. Okay, so
okay na, Yusek. Thank you kayo.
Salamat. Next meeting, maganda yung ating topic kasi fraud and breach of trust or dishonesty. So patugtugin mo yung kantang Honesty is Such a Lonely World. Yan ang magiging introduction natin. Honesty is such a lonely world, no? So kasi lahat ng pandadaya, malversation, mga falsification, altering of receipt, lahat na yan. Ang dami kong kaso na kinumpile ng ganun. So, kailangan na umatin kayo next meeting, next Monday. Meron ako mga ini-invite ngayon. Si Mr. Eric Reyes, si Mr. Neil Sakay, si Mr. Iwan ko lang kung si Bonifacio nandito ba. No? Algunes from yung lugar nila ni Chief Justice Davide, professor doon. Mga parintin ako sa Kabukiran. Akong iimbita. Total, may bayad. Ganun di mamumaanhi. No?
Bitaw.
Okay, so daghang salamat sa mga abogado nato nga ni